Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. In today's video, I wanted to talk about why we haven't found Sasquatch bodies. I keep getting asked this question, and I feel like I'm going to be asked this question many more times in the future. It's one of the skeptics' top questions as to why, Bigfoot can't exist, because we haven't found the remains of it, because, it's not on the fossil record. Well, there's probably reasons for that. I don't know, I like to think of Bigfoot kind of like a humanoid. People like us, we don't generally leave bodies around for a multitude of reasons. We just, when someone dies, they get buried or scattered to the wind or whatever, but for the most part, we don't leave bodies out in the open when someone dies. So I don't think Sasquatch would really do anything differently. They are very family oriented, they're very private, they probably have tabs on everyone, on every individual Sasquatch, I bet. So they probably know if a Sasquatch dies or not, and then they can recover the body and do whatever with it, whether they bury it or who knows what they do with it. For all we know, they could take the bones of a dead Sasquatch and smash them into powder with rocks and then scatter them to the winds. We just don't know what they do. If that was the case, you would never find any remains, really. If you just had a skeleton and it was crushed up into powder, you'd never find it. And there could very well be burial mounds and graves out in the wilderness where these things are hidden, or they could just dump bodies down a 200-foot crevasse or something. A hole somewhere in the mountains. Like, there could be caves, there could be so many different places where the remains of Sasquatch can be hidden. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they do this. From what we understand of the Sasquatch at this point, they're highly intelligent. They're very close to, being human. They're like a people. So I think, out of respect for the dead, and probably to like you can't have the remains of dead people lying around. Like, that is very unsanitary. So they must do something with the dead. And I feel like they would probably have a high respect for them as well. And they wouldn't just, leave their dead family members around, because there's so few Sasquatch out there. If Sasquatch is real, there's so few of them. Enough to maintain that population, but there's so few of them that I feel that they'd be very close. They'd probably all know of each other. They'd either be friends or enemies or family. So I don't think it'd be really difficult for them to keep the remains hidden from actual human beings like us. And I don't know, if there's Sasquatch out there dying of natural causes, it's primarily going to be old age, and we don't even know how long these things live. But I'm assuming if they're on their way out, if they're getting older, they probably stay closer to wherever home is. At least that's what I think. That just makes sense to me. So they would be in an area where they probably wouldn't even be found by people, and that's where they would die. I don't know. I wonder if Sasquatch has died from any other reasons. Obviously there's the natural disasters, you got the Mount St. Helens stories, and if there's any flooding and wildfire, there must be cases of Sasquatch dying from stuff like that. But what I'm mostly wondering about is disease and things of that nature. People die from cancer and all kinds of stuff like that, not just old age. So I don't know. I like to think with a small population and the idea that they probably all know who each individual Sasquatch is, that they would probably they probably wouldn't have a hard time keeping the bodies hidden from human beings. But we're not going to know how they do it probably for a long time. And if they're interdimensional, you probably never find a body. But I like to entertain that idea. Don't really know exactly what I believe yet, but I'm open to everything. The average person, the average human being has not even seen a real dead body in person. I mean, a lot of people have, but a lot of people haven't. So, unless it was at a funeral. In that case, they're going in the ground for the most part. And that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video. Just share my thoughts on that, because people keep asking me that question. Skeptics keep asking me that question. Why haven't we found bodies? If Bigfoot was real, we would have found bodies. I don't know. They might have had a tradition of burying their dead, or like getting rid of their dead, for thousands upon thousands of years. Meaning maybe they wouldn't really be in the fossil record. Maybe, who knows? If they're pretty close to the level of intelligence that we're at, I feel like they would do something like that. These are all just thoughts and feelings and theories of mine too. I'm just kind of talking off the top of my head. And this is how I feel about this question, and this is the best answer I could come up with. It's funny because a lot of times when people ask me some of these questions, like, you could just very easily say, I don't know. Like, I don't know yet. Here's my theories. I can't actually answer your question. But just think about these things and don't be so close-minded. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time on Mountain Beast Mysteries.